Right here at the Thrive Time Show, Dr. Zellner and I both believe that a business exists to serve you as the owner. A business exists to be a vehicle that allows you to achieve both time freedom and financial freedom so you can do whatever it is that you feel God has called you to do. It never gets boring to me. I never get bored with the idea of breaking down a case study, a success story of a real person, a real listener out there, just like you, who is courageous enough to pick up the phone and to schedule a 13-point assessment. And so on today's show, we break down the success story of Joe Consford. His company is called HardwareOnTheSquare.com. Again, the company's HardwareOnTheSquare.com. And this guy, Joe Consford, is a diligent doer and a goal pursuer. He reached out to us. He went to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire.com. Again, he went to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire.com, and he filled out the form. He filled out the form, and he scheduled a 13-point assessment with me. Yeah, I actually talked to him. I did the 13-point assessment with him. I found out his biggest limiting factors, and I made a customized business plan for him. No more guesswork. I made a specific, proven plan that he could implement. And this guy, Joe, has diligently implemented everything we've taught him to do, along with the help of his coach and consultant, Amelia. And now, as a result of his diligent application of the proven path and proven systems, he's grown his company by 100% in just 1 quarter of the year. The guy's almost doubled the size of his company in 4 short months. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy's a diligent doer. He's an honor to serve, and he actually attended the Health and Freedom Conference in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because he is a great American who loves this country. If you have the ability to visit his business, I encourage you. You might even want to plan a family vacation around this guy's business. His company's called HardwareOnTheSquare.com. It's Hardware on the Square. If you want to visit his office or visit his location, he's got a beautiful location there in St. Augustine, Texas. His address is 134 West Columbia Street, San Augustine, Texas. Zip code 75972. Should you want to mail him a letter. And I know you do. But this guy, I'm telling you, this guy's grown his company, and he had all sorts of excuses that he could have had for being unable to implement the systems, okay? He had an employee that actually died this year. We had the big ice storm that turned off the power for his community. He's probably been sick. He's probably had all sorts of excuses that have come up, but yet he has diligently implemented everything we've taught him, and I could not be more fired up for this guy. And now, without any further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Joe Consford Hardware on the Square success story.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Yeah! 3, 2, 1, boom! You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrive Time Show.
Thrive Time Show on the microphone. What is this? Top of the iTunes charts in the category of business. Drilling down on business topics like we are a dentist. Providing you with mentorship like you are an apprentice. And we go so fast that you might get motion sickness. Grab a pen and pad to the lab. Let's get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas.
Sonic boom.
Yes, and yes. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to another exciting conversation in another edition of the Thrive Time Show on your radio and podcast download. On today's show, we are bragging on a client. We call these diligent doers. All of us have goals and all of us have dreams, but very few people actually are willing to sit down and apply a proven plan. Why? I don't know. Maybe we should go to church and figure that out. But the reality is a lot of times we are looking for a plan. We're looking for a coach. We're looking for the proven system. We're looking for the blueprint. We're looking for the recipe to make the smoothie. And then once we get the recipe for the smoothie, we don't follow it and it tastes bad. We get the recipe for the cookies and we're like, I'll wing it and I won't follow it. And then it doesn't work out. But some people actually follow the recipe. Some people follow the proven plan. And as a business coaching organization, I only work with 160 clients because it requires about 100% of my brain to make a proven plan, and it takes about 100% of our team's plan to implement the plan, to coach the client down the proven path. And it is a rare thing, but I would say about once a week we have somebody who reaches out to us and says, hey, I listened to your show, I listened to your podcast, I've gone to thrivetimeshow.com, I've seen the testimonials of other diligent doers, and I think that I'm ready to join the Business Marines. I'm ready to join your team and to be a client. And the reason why our coaching program is month to month is because if you're out there and you want to become a client but you're not willing to put in the work, I don't want you to keep paying me. I only want to work with clients that will implement the proven system, and therefore it's a win-win. And I'm just telling you, I think today's guest is perhaps one of the client MVPs of the year. Probably one of the nicest clients we've had the opportunity to work with. And we work with great people like Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes, and like Josh with Living Water Irrigation, and Wes Carter with Winters and King, and Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness, and Jeff Hansen with Concord. I could spend an entire show listing out all 160 clients, but this guy's gone over and above to be a great client. And without any further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce to you, Thrive Nation, Joe Consford. Joe, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Hey, brother, I remember we did our 13-point assessment. I was in my Volvo, and it was an evening. Do you remember that? It was an evening. We did our first 13-point consultation.
Yes, sir. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember talking to you. And so I talked to you one evening. And how did you first hear about us?
On the Entrepreneur on Fire show.
Okay, by John Lee Dumas, a good friend of our program. That's
Right.
John Lee Dumas, eofire.com. So you listened to the show. And how did you know that it was probably the time to at least reach out to us to schedule a 13-point assessment?
Well, I had been in business about 7 years, and I'd been steady growth, but I just got to the point where I thought any more growth is almost impossible. You know, everybody told me that's as much as you can grow. And when somebody tells me I can't do something, that just makes me want to do it more. And I said, well, I know that this business can work, and it has to work because it's all I had. And so I was looking at, at how to grow my business, and I was listening to John Lee Dumas, and you had a advertisement on there. And I said, I'm going to call him. It doesn't hurt to call somebody and ask about he says he's got a proven system, and I want to know about how to do this proven system. I called and asked, and that was it.
Now, if anybody out there goes to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, you can see the documented success stories and case studies. We only work with 160 clients, and Amelia, we track the growth of each client. We put their name there, the website address, their growth percentage.
True.
And so you've had the opportunity to work with Joe for how long now have you guys worked together?
Since January, I believe.
And we're now in April. So
January 1st.
January 1st. Okay,
Oh,
so
right.
it's 1, 2, 3. So we're at 5 months into the program. How much have you grown, Joe, during those 5 months?
I have grown 100%. Last year in the first quarter, I did $160,000 in sales. And this year in the first quarter, I did $320,000 in sales.
Wow. So
Woo!
you're saying you've grown from. Can you repeat that one more time? I think I might have just fainted. I'm like a fainting goat. When I hear good things, I just pass out.
Right. And so the first quarter of last year was $160,000 in sales. And this year's $320,000 in sales in the first quarter.
So when you thought about reaching out to us, what were you thinking in your mind? I mean, did you have any reservations, or what were your thoughts?
Well, my number one reservation is I'm the cheapest person alive. And I didn't want to spend, thousands of dollars. And the way John Lee Dumas talked about your show, he said it's a business coach for what you would pay a minimum wage employee. And it's true.
Now, you reached out to us, and whenever you were, I'm doing a 13-point assessment. Amelia knows this, but like this weekend, I'll pull up my calendar here. I have, let me see here. I've got the calendar. I know it's exciting on an audio program only when the audio only program when the host looks at his calendar. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I have 19 13-point assessments this weekend. And I bet you 2 of the people that reach out are a good fit. And we probably had 50 people that reached out. Maybe not 50, probably 20 that reached out for every appointment we even schedule.
True.
So I wanted to get Amelia's take on this. when our team, whether it be you, Amelia, or Julia, or anybody on our team, JT, when they call someone who fills out the form, when someone goes to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire to schedule a free 13-point assessment with myself to analyze their business and to make a plan, who is a good fit and who's not a good fit? Like what makes Joe a good fit versus what makes somebody not a good fit for our program?
Well, Joe's a great fit because he came to us and he's like, I don't know what I don't know, so tell me what to do, and then I'm going to do it. And that's exactly what he did. People that are not a good fit are people that want to argue about the proven path. So you spend hours creating this path, and then they're like, yeah, I don't think that's going to work. That's probably not a great fit.
And your path to work in here is you, Amelia, were looking to become, what were you wanting to do? You want to become not a nurse, but an
occupational therapist.
Occupational therapist, yes. And then your husband started working here.
True.
And then you've been here for how long now?
Almost 3 years.
3 years, yeah. And one baby and one house later, you're still here.
Yep.
And in your mind, who's a good fit to be an employee here? Because again, we only have great, diligent employees and great diligent clients, and the whole thing works there. But who's a good? Because someone's listening to this right now, and they're like, I think I want to work there. Who's not a good fit to work here?
People that want to be chronically late. They want to sleep in. They want to take a lot of time off to just sit at home and watch The Voice. If you a good fit to work here is somebody that wants to grow, somebody that's hungry for learning. I remember when I first started here, I was like, I have learned more with Clay in 2 weeks than my entire college existence. So I'm gonna drop out, and I just want to learn everything.
Yeah. And you learned it. You're implementing it. Mm-hmm. So let's get into the specific systems that we're implementing for the hardwareonthesquare.com. It's hardwareonthesquare.com, folks. If you want to look it up, it's hardwareonthesquare.com. Again, this guy's grown by 100% in just 4 months of consulting. So let's talk about the sales numbers are obviously huge, but what stuff has Joe actually implemented there, Amelia?
Oh man, a better question. What hasn't he implemented? He has implemented everything and anything that I've thrown at him. So something that he's been great at is consistently getting Google reviews.
Yep.
He lives in a small town, so there's only so many people you can ask, but he continues to get Google reviews every single week for both locations.
Every week.
Every week.
And how rare is that a client will consistently ask for objective reviews from their actual clients?
It's pretty rare.
So why is it so difficult for the average client maybe to ask for Google reviews? What's the hang up, you think?
I think implementation is hard. I think in the beginning people get really excited about this new path. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask. And then they get so much rejection, or they're like, man, I've already asked this person. I want to ask them again. I don't want to be a bother. And they let all of those excuses get in the way of implementing the path. So
what is your process there, Joe, for asking for objective reviews at your hardware company, hardwareonthesquare.com?
Well, at the store, I have the people who run the cash registers. They get a bonus, a $3 a week bonus, a $3 per review bonus if they get a Google review. So, they want that $3. They have to ask people to review them. And if they don't, I'm going to have a serious conversation with them about why aren't they asking. I watch the cameras, and I see people going out of the store. I'll show them. I'm like, you didn't ask that person for a review. I want every person that to get at least ask to do a review.
So you ask every single time.
Every time.
So good.
And when you ask every time, some say yes, some say no, but you ask every time, and therefore you get the proven results. Now, what else is Joe consistently implementing well?
He is very well at hiring and firing quickly and implementing that group interview process.
So let's talk about the group interview process. Amelia, explain what the group interview process is.
Yeah, so you want to run an Indeed ad or some sort of advertisement every week, and Joe consistently reposts that, so he's at the top. He follows up with them, and then he has a specific time every single week that he holds a group interview. So then if anybody that comes in through the group interview, if it looks like they're going to be a good fit, he has them come back for a shadow day, And then if that's a good fit, then he goes ahead and hires them. But more importantly, once he hires somebody, if he finds out right away that it's not going to be a good fit, if they're not following the checklist, if they're not asking for Google reviews, he lets them go. He doesn't waste his time training somebody that wants to fight him.
Got it. So you, Joe, how has the group interview process helped your business?
Oh, it's helped tremendously. When somebody's not a good fit, I don't have any reservations about sending them home because I've got a list of people that are ready to come to work.
So has it changed the relationship with you where you don't have to put up with ridiculous, nefarious, entitled employees?
Yes, it has.
What else?
It has changed it.
So the hiring process, we've nailed that down. We've also worked on your website. We've optimized your website. What else, Joe, have you implemented? We don't have time, obviously, to get into everything you've implemented during the past 4 months, but are there any other things that you've learned so far that have been a highlight to you, or maybe have the conferences made an impact on you? Or
I've been to 2 of the conferences, and I like being around people who are excited about growing their business. That's what I like about the conference, just being around people who aren't negative about their business. I can't grow, and I'm have so many excuses. I want to be around people that forget the excuses. I've got things to do, and we've got a plan, and we're going to work that plan.
Got it. So you have the hiring process has been changed dramatically for you. The branding process, getting those reviews, has changed. What else have you implemented that's made the biggest impact for you?
Biggest impact, probably the running of the ads, the retargeting ads, and getting those going. We're getting people in our store every week that had never even heard of our store, and this store's been here since 1836.
How many new customers are you getting per day?
Last year, my average was 113 customers per day, spending $22 on average.
Got it.
And this year, my average has been 187 customers a day, spending $28 on average.
Woo.
So you're having proven results, massive success. And you're doing all this in spite of things not being perfect. A lot of times people say, someday I'll get things done. We all have in our schedule. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Again, we all have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But some people believe, not any of our listeners and not you, Joe, but some people believe that someday things will be just right, and then they will implement the proven path. However, since we've worked with you, this is what I know to be true, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, is that you had some time where you had no power or water for several weeks. You had an employee actually die. You had to help fix the town's water supply because of the freeze. You've had to work with employees that didn't show up. But you've never missed a meeting. You've never not knocked out your homework. You always hop on that weekly call with Amelia. Is that true, Amelia?
This is true. He has had so many chances where he could have been this week was crazy. Somebody died. I had to bring water to everybody in the town. We fixed it. I dug for hours. You could have had so many excuses, and you never once used that as an excuse. You always did your homework. He always showed up.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Joe, for anybody out there that's contemplating working with our one-on-one consulting program, obviously they're going to go to the hardwareonthesquare.com to look you up. And obviously they're going to go to thrivetimeshow.com and click on the testimonials and watch the 104% average growth of the client this year. Obviously they're going to go to page 3 of Google, page 5 of Google, and read about the company, Make Your Life Epic, that does the coaching that I've been doing since 2006. They're going to do their research. But what would be your advice or thoughts for anybody who's pondering or thinking about becoming a one-on-one consulting client?
My advice is if you want a plan that works, this one does work. You just have to work the plan. You have to say, this is what I'm going to do today. I have probably the biggest thing that I've learned from Clay and Amelia is I have a clipboard that I keep, that is always in my hand.
Oh, yes.
And I write down every day what I'm supposed to do tomorrow, and then the next day, I just work each line by line, and when I forget what I'm supposed to be doing, I can look at my clipboard that's in my hand and work on that next task until it's done. And then when it's done, I cross it off.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, you're knocking stuff out. You're an encouragement to so many people, and I encourage anybody, go out there and do your research today. But if you want to become a one-on-one coaching client, this is the path. This is the process. Step 1, do your research. Read the reviews. Look up former clients. Do your research. Step 2, go to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. Schedule a free 13-point assessment with me. It takes about a half hour, sometimes an hour. And then I have to go, if it's a good fit, I have to go write a business plan for you, which might take 4 or 5 hours. And then if you're going to commit to being in the program, commit mentally to doing about 5 hours a week of homework. And if you're willing to do that homework, things will change, and it's a win-win relationship for everybody. But big shout out to Joe Consford. Joe, where do you call home? Where's your home?
St. Augustine, Texas.
St. Augustine, Texas. Folks, I'll tell you what, if you're thinking about planning a great family vacation, maybe you want to go to St. Augustine, Texas, and then plan your trip around visiting Hardware on the Square. Go there and make a touristy event out of it. They got great coffee, they got pizza, they have pastries, they got hardware. It's all right there, and nothing is more fun than visiting his hardware store this time of year. That's hardwareonthesquare.com, hardwareonthesquare.com. Joe, thank you so much for joining us. I greatly appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Take care, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!